home and the car is acting way worse. Like, it is rattling. It's, yeah, something more is wrong with it. So we attempted to drive it Saturday morning. It died in the middle of the road. My husband's like, we are not driving this. So we turn around, grab his truck, and drive it down to the birthday party, come back. I did not drive my car anymore. Took it to the shop that Monday, and it ended up being an injector stuck. I probably should have looked all this up before I started this video, but it's like an injector stuck. It's going to be about a little over $800 to fix. So we're like, okay, go ahead. They get it fixed. They call me back on Tuesday, and she's like, it's still not running right. It had died on her after they fixed it. It still wasn't idling right. They had it all day Tuesday trying to figure it out. And she tells me, she's like, we don't know what's wrong with it. They were going to have to contact the Kia place. Then she calls me back, and she said, we figured it out. I'm like, oh, great. There was water in my gas. So I ended up having 2 separate problems at the same time. So the reason it wasn't idling right to begin with was the injector was stuck. But then the reason it started rattling and dying and all that stuff was because there was water in my gas. And so I'm like, are you kidding me? So I'm like, well, I mean, you got to fix it. And she's like, oh, that's going to be about another $2,800. And I'm like, great. So I just happened to go online and look at Circle K, like their Q&A, anyway, and I see on their website that they have a guarantee on their gas. I'm like, that is awesome. So I call and put in a claim. After a few days, they give you a claim number, they send you over to somebody else, and then they send you to somebody else. It's like a big process. In the meantime, I get the car fixed, and so it is a little over $3,800 total when they get finished. And so I submit to them my receipts, what was wrong with it. The lady actually gave me a water bottle of my gas that showed, she put it 3/4 of the way full of gas, and 1/4 of it was water. And she's like, you had a lot of water. Okay, side note, I had to pause it for a second because my husband was yelling something and I couldn't hear him. So, where was I? So she gave me the water bottle, showed me the gas. So I sent the picture of that. I sent the itemized thing of everything they fixed. And I was not expecting them to pay me back for the injector thing. Like the first problem, that was the car's problem. But the water in the gas is 100% their fault. There was no other way for it to be in there. So I wait, and they fixed the car a lot quicker than I'd expected. So I had to pay out of pocket for it. We pulled it out of the emergency fund. That is, an emergency. We weren't expecting to spend $3,800 on something that had to be fixed because I have to have my car to get to work and everywhere else. So pulled that out, fixed it, whatever. Friday on June 6th, this is where we're at now, because I had another lady earlier that week call me, get my side of the story. I tell her all that stuff, told her I'd already sent all the stuff in. So she emails me Friday, June 6th, which is the day after our anniversary. So we were going out to eat to celebrate our anniversary the day before, and they denied the claim. They said that they did, their research, and they didn't see that it was their fault. How do you argue it? Because, I know there was not water in my gas before that. I know I had 0 gas in my car when I filled up. That is where it came from. So I sent an email back telling them I'd like to see the proof of what they researched, what their findings were, and some other things that I didn't agree with. And of course, a couple of days later, I got an email back that they only submit that in litigation. It was real close to saying then I'll get my lawyer involved, but I didn't. I'm like, you know what? The heck with it. They're a big corporation. I'm not going to win. But I will refuse to give them any more of my money, and I will call them out on my YouTube video. So, there's where we're at with that. So, oh, I do want to tell you this funny part of that story has nothing really to do with getting my money back or anything like that, but it was just such a random thing. I'm going to share it. So, while I am waiting, so the lady tells me that they have to get some information from the manager at that Circle K. They have to get video proof. I can't remember the word she used. They have to save that clip of a video showing, from this time to this time. And in that time frame is when they would see me at the gas pump getting gas. So she's waiting to get that from him. And I get a message on Facebook from a lady I don't know. I can tell by her picture she is an older lady. And she said, hey, I don't know if this is a scam or if this is real, but I just received this email and it said it was urgent. And she did some investigating, and luckily I'm the only Megan, spelt with an A, outlaw on Facebook. And which she was really proud of her detective skills, which I was too, because I thought that was just funny. But she found me and she wanted to see if it was legit so she could send me the email. And so I told her, I was like, actually, it is legit. I don't know how you got the email, because he had copied several people and somehow her email got in there. So she forwarded me the email. I forwarded it to the Circle K headquarters, that person I was dealing with, just in case she wasn't copied on it, to let them know that we had it. But anyway, I just thought that was super random that somebody in Florida got the email and was nice enough to look me up and find me and send it to me. So anyway, like I said, it had nothing to do, but it's just a funny part of the story. So let's go back to the part where I said I get the email that denies the claim. Just probably a couple years ago and prior, that would have set my husband off on a tangent. He would be freaking out. He would be, we're canceling vacation. We're not spending any money. We forked this money out. Now we got to replace it. He would have shut down. He said something to me that I was not expecting. I mean, like, I am so mad I could probably cry. And he looks at me and he says, it's okay. That's why we have the emergency fund. Y'all, I was speechless. Like, this man came from a scarcity mindset, like I said, would spiral out of control. And he was so calm, and he was right. That is the exact reason we worked so hard the past 3 years of not going on a vacation and not doing things to build that emergency fund up, so that when we did do fun things or wanted to do things, we could do it even if something happened, guilt-free, stress-free. Because when I say, this vacation that we went on, we spent more than we would normally have ever spent before. Like, we did vacation with no, I kind of want to say, like, with no boundaries. Like, I rented a house I, would not have usually spent that much on. But we, like I said, we sacrificed the past few years to get to the point of being debt-free and having the emergency fund and plus, I budgeted for this vacation by putting money in a separate savings account for the past 6 months to help pay for it too. So we were so strategic in planning. It truly, like, light bulb moment for him. This is exactly why we do what we do. And y'all, I'm so glad that we did not cancel the vacation. It was something that we needed. It was probably one of the best vacations we have been on, because we truly just relaxed. I knew my car was going to make it because it had just been in the shop and everything was fixed. So I didn't have to worry about the car. And even though, we went down, we didn't really spend, other than that house, like, I didn't spend a lot of money while we were there because we didn't do anything. We sat at the pool and we went to the beach and then we ate, and that is it. And that is, to me, perfect vacation. Like, we are not ones to go shopping. We're not ones to do 100 million things. So anyway, it was just something that was really needed. I'm super glad we were able to do it. So how much money do you need in your emergency fund is probably the question that you're asking. And that truly depends on your lifestyle. If you are a very frugal person and don't spend a lot of money and don't have a car that's 20 years old that has to get fixed every other week, your house is in decent shape, then that number cannot be as much. If you're driving a 20-year-old car that has to be fixed all the time, your house is falling apart, then you're going to need a higher number. So what we do, we aim for 6 months of bills in that emergency fund. Now, to me, that is high. A lot of people will only do 3 months, but I chose 6 months for one, to help my husband. Like I said, he has that scarcity mindset. And at that, when we decided that, the job situation wasn't very, it was kind of shaky. And so it was like, if we lose our job, how long will it take me to find another one? Or how long would it take him? Now, you have to understand, this has nothing to do with emergency fund, but just to give you some context, we do not have college degrees. We start at the bottom and we work our way up. And we've always done that with all the jobs that we've had. And we stay at jobs forever. Like, I've been at my job 13 years. He's been at this one for 12. And we literally started at the bottom and now have decent jobs. And so it is harder I think, to replace those jobs sometimes as far as the money. I can get a job, but will it pay what I make now? And so that is why we chose 6 months, so that we wouldn't have to be freaking out if we needed to find another job. So let me say this. We did not start with a 6-month emergency fund, so don't freak out. So a lot of people follow Dave Ramsey, and he says to do, an $1,000 emergency fund when you're starting out. If you are living paycheck to paycheck, that sounds like a goal that cannot be reached. If you have extra money, you're like, I don't think that's enough. So, the reason he says that is it is not meant to be your overall emergency fund. It is just meant to cover some basic things that might happen. Your washing machine goes out, car repair, not if you get water in your gas, but if you have a stuck injector, it will cover those fairly quick. You can get things fixed fairly quickly. Some of the emergencies that pop up don't have to be fixed right away. And so you can have a little extra time to save up for those. So that's where that $1,000 come from. So at that point, when we started, we didn't have a dollar amount. We just started stacking money when we could. If we had $10 left over, $10 went in that savings account. If we had $150 left over, $150 went into that account. When we got our taxes back, if somebody gave us money for no reason, birthdays, not always birthdays, because I do think you should spend on yourself sometimes. But we just started putting the money. And the biggest thing, it wasn't about the dollar amount when we first started. It was about the habit of getting used to doing it, and then, we eventually, once the budgeting started really working, I knew what we were going to have left over every month. I set it up to be automatic, and it was $200 every pay period. We both get paid twice a month, and so at $200 immediately would go into that savings account. I didn't have to think about it. It was automatic, and I accounted for it. So as part of one of my line items in the budget. So because I was putting $200 here, I couldn't spend $200 here, and so we just got real intentional with it and eventually build it up to that 6 months. So those are kind of the things you need to think about when you start with your emergency fund is, what is our lifestyle situation? Are we constantly having to fix broke things? Have we got lucky and not had to spend any money and everything's going to break at once? That seems to be our luck. That is how things work in our life. It comes in threes. But you're not going to know how you're going to start that emergency fund or what you even need in that emergency fund if you don't have a plan for your money. If you are just spending it and you don't know and you're like, I can't save a dime because I'm broke every week, let's get a plan together, because I guarantee you're going to have more than a dime when you start getting intentional. So if you do not know where your money is going, I do have a freebie. It is a one-sheet page that you print out called Where Did My Money Go? And you spend 10 to 15 minutes figuring out where your money went last week, last month, last pay period, however you want to do it. I've got to think it's worded last month because I do everything by the month. But if you just want to see where your money went last pay period, this free PDF will help you do that. So I'm going to put that link in the description below. Click on it, and if you click that link, not only are you going to get that free Where Did My Money Go worksheet, you will also get a savings tracker. I'm going to throw that in there because we are talking about saving money in emergency funds, so I want to give you something to help you keep up with how much money you are saving. It also will be just like a one-sheet printout type thing. Maybe eventually I'll get a digital one, but these are ones that you print, color on it so that it's visual and you can see it. And if you are feeling that money stress, trust me, I see you. I have been there. And I'm telling you, that emergency fund changes everything. You will sleep better, you will stop panicking, and you'll feel like you're in control again. And if this video helped you, if you enjoyed this video, please, please, please click that like, subscribe so that you can get more tips from me and just be in my world. I would love for you to join me. So hit the like, subscribe, the bell to get the notification when I do a new video. I am trying to do them once a week. I am failing miserably, but that's why you need that bell, because you never know when I'm going to do a video. So it will let you know, hey, she's got a video. So I appreciate it. I want you to keep it real, keep it simple, and keep budgeting.